Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. It is your girl Molinda Jae, and I wanted to come here and tell you all about some synchronicities in 2023, since that is my theme, because that is just a message of what I was receiving in regards to preparing myself for the new calendar year per se. And the synchronistic events that I'm going to talk about on this video is basically the injuries that has transpired within this month in regards to Damar Hamlin, and then as of last night with the wild card game with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers wide receiver Russell Gage. So let's go ahead and get into it. And I'm going to share my screen because, of course, you're at that mental state to where you think like your career is over, your chances of going pro is over with, and the list goes on. And how I was sending out some encouraging words to, just keep having positive thoughts and envision yourself as if you are still in the position that you were in before you had got injured, because it's all a mental game at the end of the day, besides your physical, as well as taking care of your physical body. All right, so this is the wrong article. That is going to be a whole nother video for a whole nother day. So and that's a whole nother video in itself as well. So what had happened was with the Buccaneers Russell Gage, that happened at the wild card game last night between the Dallas Cowboys, is that it was a hit that happened towards the end of the game, to where he is currently sustaining from a concussion as well as a neck injury. And that is very, very detrimental. That's very, very life-threatening. And let's go ahead and get to this article. This is coming from ESPN.com. So it says within this article, Tampa Bay Buccaneers wide receiver Russell Gage was taken off the field by a stretcher late in the fourth quarter of the team's 31-14 wild card playoff loss to the Dallas Cowboys on Monday night. Gage was injured when he stumbled on a route, went to the ground, couldn't make the catch, and took a hard shot to the neck from safety Donovan Wilson from the Dallas Cowboys. Gage appeared to try to get up but couldn't, and slammed his head into the grass in frustration. And he shouldn't have done that. I know, like I said, it's a mental thing whenever you get injured. But of course, slamming your head to the grass after you are embracing you're in shock mode because of what had happened with the tackle that went wrong. So I really hate that. Furthermore, on down the article, it says on Tuesday, the Buccaneers said in a statement that Gage was kept in the hospital overnight for testing and observation after suffering a neck injury and concussion. They said he has had a movement in all extremities and will continue to undergo additional testing. Bucs coach Todd Bowles said Gage is expected to be released from the hospital later Tuesday, adding that his neck is fine. Gage posted on the social media Tuesday afternoon that he was doing great and in great spirits, as well as the players from both teams took a knee and prayed while medical personnel took to engaging to Gage in his injuries. Brady, who threw the pass to Gage, stood near the medical staff before the game resumed. The play came 2 weeks after Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin collapsed, suffering a cardiac arrest, and needed to be resuscitated on the field during another primetime Monday night game. He was discharged from Buffalo Bills area hospital last week, and it was really tough, especially what happened a couple weeks ago. The Bucs inside linebacker Levante David said, "Russ is a great dude off the field and a great guy on the field. We definitely hope he's well. He was moving and stuff like that. That was a good sign. Definitely hope he's okay." Tampa Bay tight end Cam Brate, who suffered a sprained neck in week 6 and also left the field on a stretcher, added, "You hate to see a guy go down like that, especially with the game being kind of out of reach at that point. It's really hard to see your teammate like that. We're all thinking about Russ and hope he's doing well." Yeah, it's tough. Excuse me. And indeed, it is tough. Like I said, I was an athlete. I was a cheerleader, even though y'all don't say cheerleading is a sport. When you're lifting up people off the ground more than 4 feet, really more than 2 feet, then that is a sport, okay? But other than that, yes, as a former athlete, myself, as well as my brothers are athletes / former athletes as well, and them having injuries on the field, and of course working towards healing and recovery. Yes, it is all a mental thing, y'all. It is really, really a mental thing, especially if you're really passionate about the sport and you really want to make it to the professional realm, and whatever the case may be, whether it's on the field or off the field, but definitely on the field, because that's where you get all that adrenaline, that action, and that thrill of it all from doing what you love. And the fact that you get injured in the midst of a big game, especially in the playoffs, it could leave you into a world spin if you're not in the right headspace when it whether on impact, when it happens, and also behind the scenes when you're in that recovery mode, okay? And as stated within the article, y'all, literally 2 weeks ago, Damar Hamlin went through the same similar similar situation in regards to a big game was happening, because everybody is trying to get their team to the playoffs, more so the Super Bowl, which brings in big revenue, big recognition, and the list goes forward on that one. And the fact that your life is literally flashing before your eyes based off an injury or an impact or whatever had happened in the game, and you not being able to go forward in playing, and you have to sit in the sidelines and just watch everybody else play, and you're just sitting there like, how did this happen to me? As well as, I really want to get back out there, but I can't. I have to focus on my health and getting back into the best shape before I get back on the field. It really plays into your psyche, okay? I've seen it through and through with my brothers, and I do also have a cousin that used to play volleyball, and she suffered an injury, and she is still suffering to this day, and I wish her parents would file a lawsuit on the school, but that's beyond me at this point. But I also want to touch back on this article that I came across here that is off of deadspin.com. Okay, I hate that I said that, but okay, it's part of the brand. You see it up here, okay? No, I do not want to subscribe, but not right now. But I want you all to take a good look at this article as I read it. And it says, and this was published as of 7 hours ago. It says, injuries to Russell Gage, Damar Hamlin on Monday Night Football are why the NFL needs guaranteed contracts, because once you're injured and you have not reached to that pension point yet, then it's like game over with, especially if you're not able to get back on the field and continue on playing for the team. And also it says thoughts and prayers won't fix this. The players union is taking a stand will. So there is a players union in regards to making some changes with the players when they get injured, and how they can still be guaranteed some type of pension per se to continue on with their football career. All right. So it says within this article, when Tampa Bay wide receiver Russell Gage went down late in the fourth quarter of the Buccaneers wild card matchup with the Dallas Cowboys, everybody in the stadium and everyone watching on television held their breaths again. For the second consecutive broadcast, Joe Buck and Troy Aikman were calling a Monday Night Football game in which a player had to be taken off the field, reminding us once again just how dangerous football has been and will always be. So this happened not only 2 weeks ago, these injuries happened in the 2 weeks time span, but also it happened on a Monday Night Football. Okay. 14 days after millions watched Damar Hamlin leave the turf at Paycor Stadium, they came back to the same broadcast to watch Gage being strapped on a stretcher, this exclusively an American tale. Furthermore, and you can see images right here from courtesy of ESPN in regards to the player being down and the medical staff tending to the player, and also their teammates and other staffing that is around the player at a distance, because the player does still need to be having some air circulation while getting treated, so they won't be claustrophobic and all the other stuff. But they're there standing by, making sure he's good. Furthermore, in the article, it says, instead, people are talking about Tom Brady and Brett Maher. Tuesday morning afternoon, sports shows, online sports publications, newspapers across the country will be filled with stories about Brett Maher making history after missing 4 PATs or Pats, how terrible the Bucs defense played, how impressive Dak Prescott looked, and whether or not we just saw Tom Brady play his last game for Tampa or in his career. But for the people who aren't obsessed with fantasy football or what the over/under was on the final score, the story of the night was Gage's injury. The instantaneous fear and worry, the thoughts of, oh no, not again, and the immediate prayer tweets that hit the Twitter's timeline were typical for fans that had just watched the unthinkable happen just 2 weeks earlier. I called one of my colleagues and said, did we watch somebody pass over? Bomani Jones told CNN when discussing the incident, but yet we're in the same place hoping that the outcome will be less severe. And here's a tweet by Tim Brando, and his tweet says, this is yet another difficult moment for all to see. Russ Gage being tended for at Buccaneers, prayers up to him. After suffering a neck injury and concussion during the fourth quarter of last night's game, Russell was taken into a local hospital where he remained overnight for additional testing and observation. Russell has had movement in all extremities and will continue to undergo additional testing today. We will provide information as it becomes available, the team released in a statement on Tuesday morning. Hopefully, Gage will be okay, as Hamlin cheered his teammates on from home as he continues to recover after the Bills defeated the Miami Dolphins 34-31 on Sunday. But what isn't okay is that we needed incidents like these on consecutive broadcasts of Monday Night Football to remind us just how insane it is that NFL contracts aren't fully guaranteed. And that is why you hear a lot of elders or people that either seen some things in regards to their own getting injured, or they being injured themselves in regards to the profession, or in college years, or even high school and middle school years. They will ask, hey, do you have a backup plan? Because it's not fully guaranteed. As much they are trying to get you and recruit you on your team, it is not guaranteed that you're going to stay on the team as well, especially if you have not hit that pension mark where you're able to, still get some income coming in while you're being injured per se. Okay, so it says, when do salaries become guaranteed? You know what the NFL will tell you. Well, you know what? We'll look out for the people like him. No, you won't. The Bills owner, Terry Pegula, is worth $6.7 billion, not million, billion, said Garrett Bush from the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show a few weeks ago. My question to you, NFL, when do salaries become guaranteed? If you know these young men are going out here and they could pass over on that football field. Earlier this month, we learned that the NFL games accounted for 82 of the 100 most watched U.S. broadcasts in 2022, which was 7 more than 2021, marked at 75 out of 100. Americans have proven that no matter what atrocities take place on a football field, they're still going to tune in. In March 2030, the NFL's collective bargaining agreement will expire. That means that players and their council have 7 years to unify and will come up with a plan to force owners to agree on guaranteed contracts. It should be known that whenever players and owners negotiate over labor issues, didn't MLB did the same thing with the lockout, demanding more money and stuff? Okay, let me keep going. The owners typically get what they want, despite the players having all the power. In 7 years, we'll know if what happened to Damar Hamlin and Russell Gage helped save and change the NFL. But if it doesn't, then all those thoughts and prayers were just a waste of God's time. End quote. Okay, so this is coming from dadspin.com, where they are, again, this is the second injury being played out on national television, Monday Night Football, in regards to an NFL player getting injured. Of course, there has been other players that have been injured as well, but they haven't been highlighted as much as Damar Hamlin and now Russell Gage. So, what do you guys think about the NFL needs to negotiate with the players / the owners in regards to having guaranteed contracts? I'm all for it, because it's their bodies on the line, for one thing, to entertain everybody who is watching. And yes, they get paid for what they're doing, but once they get injured, it's like, okay, we got what you want out of you. Now we're finna spit you out, and you're going to have to figure it out in regards to what you're going to do next. And this is probably why Tom Brady is scared as heck to retire, because again, when it comes to retiring from a long career that you have grown to love, and have been getting all the accolades, all the money and resources to maintain your status and excel and be the best player that he has been, probably, yeah, within his age bracket. Tom Brady, he is scared. I know, well, I believe he is scared to retire, because once people retire and they don't have anything going for themselves, and they don't have, at least, yeah, when they don't have anything going for themselves, like a newfound passion beyond football, or doing what Deion Sanders is doing, coaching for college football, or just still be in the football sector, but not be in the spotlight as you used to have been, which I'm pretty sure he enjoys the love and attention and admiration. But yes, that's a side note there. But back to the topic. Like, feel free to leave your comments down below on what you all think about the two injuries that happened in the 2-week time span on Monday Night Football around the same times, right? It was definitely around the same times. If I'm not mistaken, it was towards the end of the fourth quarter with Russell, and I believe it was a late night as well with Damar Hamlin and his injury. So again, these synchronistic events that are happening, this is the second one that has been broadcasted already, and Super Bowl is right around the corner. So again, the players, they deserve guaranteed contracts instead of wait until a certain point in their career to be able to get that pension, right, and other accolades that they'll be able to get whenever they hit that threshold as well. I feel like they need to be guaranteed with some contracts, because that's their bodies on the line and not your bodies on the line. And at the same time, of course, they're going to have the top-notch health care and assistance, so they can get their bodies back into some a good condition to where they can go back on the field. But at the same time, you got football players that are taking care of more than one person and not just themselves. So with that being said, please feel free to leave your comments down below in the comment section about the injuries. What do y'all think about the guaranteed contracts? And is thoughts and prayers going to be enough to get through and through to these people in regards to the players? Yeah, it is almost like a same reflection of the nurses and their situations. All they want is more pay, more staffing, and also the safety conditions. Okay, all right. So with that being said, like, share, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. Hit that notification bell so you know next time I upload a video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.